Welcome to class. This class is called Lord of the Splits. We're gonna play and have fun with the splits, and play and have fun are the key words here. I want this to be enjoyable for you. And I've got a little story that I wanna share with you. So just while I'm talking, go ahead and get settled. I have a couple of yoga blocks here just to demonstrate to you that yoga blocks may be useful for you if you struggle with your flexibility in terms of splits. If you don't have yoga blocks though, no worries. I have designed this class with hopefully enough modifications that blocks won't be necessary, but you can also just grab a stack of books if that makes you feel more comfortable. And if you like, go ahead and sit in Baddha Konasana. So with the knees draped down to the sides and the soles of the feet touching, and just kind of get warmed up here, sitting up nice and tall. Breathe and move around however it feels good for you. You don't need to stay in Baddha Konasana. Now the story that I want to tell you is about the sage Visvamitra. And he is a character in the Bhagavad Gita. He shows up several times. He's got a few stories, but my favorite is the one that we're going to draw on for this class. So he was approached by a man, a rich man, a very powerful man, but nevertheless just a man, no special powers. And this man wanted to bring his body to the afterlife with him. He didn't want to leave his body and just have his soul in the afterlife. And he had gone to various gods and demigods, and they were all like, no, that's not allowed. You can't do that. You must practice non-attachment, and you must understand that your body is physical and your physical life will end when you die. But he just wasn't having it. He was like, no, I want to bring my body to heaven with me. So then he goes to the sage Visvamitra. And this guy is like, let me try it for you. So he uses all of his powers and tries to get the guy to descend to heaven with his body, and he fails. So he spends a bit of time summoning his powers back and tries again, and he fails. So he's like, you know what? I've got it. I'm just gonna build a new universe. If this universe won't let people go to heaven with their bodies, then I'm just gonna build a new universe. So he uses all of his powers to build a new universe so that this rich guy can descend to this universe's heaven with his body. Still doesn't work, and the man ended up getting stuck in the stars upside down, and he's now a star. But the story, despite not being a great example of non-attachment and a parigraha, it is a story in tenacity, and it's a story in staying open-minded and not feeling that you have to do as others are doing. I just thought that was so brilliant, He's like, well, fine, I'll build my own universe where things go the way I think they should go. And we don't have to go to that extreme, of course, with our yoga practice or in any aspect of our lives. I mean, if any of you can actually build a new universe, then please have at it. But if we can take at least that tenacity and that awareness that, hey, maybe there's some other way to do this that will suit me better into our yoga practice, then I think we can experience a lot more joy and less frustration. And I want that to be something that just resides in your psyche as we go through this class, because yes, there may be times that are challenging. There may be some things that we do that you're not able to do in the way that perhaps you would like. Maybe that's just because you're not there yet. Maybe you are there, but just not today, and you need to take it easy today. Whatever it is, honor that and be like sage Visvamitra and be like, I'm gonna do it my own way. All right, so with that, take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, just close your eyes now. Let your arms rest just on your feet, in your lap, wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe you like to have them at prayer. And as you inhale again, allow your belly to expand and feel the lungs expanding the rib cage and the belly. And as you exhale, use just a tiny bit of force, just like 1%, to feel the muscles of your abdomen and pelvic floor engaging to press your air out. Take a deep inhale in, relaxing the belly muscles. And with this next exhale, do nothing but notice the natural engagement that occurs as you empty out your lungs. Good. Inhale, open your eyes up once again, and keep the knees bent, stay sitting down, but just bring the feet kind of parallel to the knees and bring your left knee in. Let that sit bone come up, twist around to the right, look over your right shoulder, take an inhale. As you exhale, just move back through center, lift the left knee, lift the right knee, allow that right sit bone to come up as you spin around to the left and look over your left shoulder. Good, come back through center as you inhale. Exhale over to the right, twisting all the way around. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Good. Feel free to carry on with your knees bent like that, or perhaps straighten them out, not going very far into a middle split at all. Maybe they're just kind of somewhere towards straight. And same thing as before, let the knee fall inwards. Let everything kind of lift up as you spin around. But maybe you feel a little bit of a stretch occurring through the front of the right thigh as you twist around, with the toes tucked under. Come back through center, same thing on the other side. So very just gently moving around like this, letting our hips get nice and juicy. So spin back around to the right. Maybe give a little squeeze of the left glute here, back through center and spin around to the left. And same thing, squeeze that right glute just a little bit. Good. And final time, maybe if it's comfortable, maybe you've still got your knees bent in the original shape, that's all good. Maybe your knees, though, are nice and straight, and same thing, maybe keep that left arm forward of your hips as you spin around, just nice and gently juicing up those hips. All right, and then back to center in your straddle position. Just find a shape that feels good for you, not going into any depth. Take an inhale and lift the left arm up. As you exhale, reach it over to the right. Turn your left toes in, maybe lift up the left heel. And here, bring your left wrist into flexion and take the thumb to the palm. Take the fingers out wide and turn your fingers around back behind you and down to the floor. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. And you can just kind of wiggle around here. Good. Rise back up through center. Lower the left arm down. Reach the right arm up. Take it over to the left. Spin the right foot flat. Maybe lift up that right heel. Take the right thumb to the palm and bring your wrist into flexion. Turn the fingers around back behind you, pointing down towards the floor even. And take the left ear to the left shoulder here. You can kind of move in and out of that stretch a few times. Good. Rise up back through center. One more time, take it over to the left. And this time, we're going to wiggle out. Just make a circle with the left wrist and the left ankle. Bonus points if you can circle them in opposite directions. Oh, it's like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time, huh? All right, rise up through center and again over to the left. Circle out the right ankle and the right wrist. Try and make sure the circles are coming from the ankle and not the toes. Bonus points again if you can do it in opposite directions. And rise back up through center. And just shimmy the legs back together, bend the knees, pull them in, give them a nice big hug, maybe even kiss them and tell them that you love them, because they take you to everywhere that you want to go. And just spin around to the front of your mat and bring yourself into a tabletop position. With the tops of the feet down, rock forward ever so slightly with the shoulders, and really point your toes back behind you. Shift the hips back and then forward. Really press down through the fingers as you shift the shoulders forward. Take it back and lean it forward. Find a place where it's comfortable, so not so far that you're struggling. We're going to do our cat-cows here, just with a little bit of extra wrist extension. Shoulders a little bit forward of the wrists. Just getting them used to holding our weight a little bit more. It's absolutely fine if you want to shift your hips back, though, if that feels like it's too much for you. So just inhale as you move into your cow, arching the spine, lifting the crown and the tailbone up, and exhale as you round. Good. Come back through center and tuck the toes under behind you. Press the hips back and then lift them up into a downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. Just assess how you're feeling. Maybe push the hips side to side. Breathe here. Still pedaling your feet. Turn it into a walk, slowly walking the feet all the way up to the front of the mat into a forward fold. When you get to the top, feet hip-width distance. Walk your hands up your shins, lengthen up halfway, reach the crown of the head and the tailbone away from each other. And as you exhale, fold down, bend the knees if you need to. In fact, let's all bend our knees. Keep bending them until your hips touch your heels. The heels come up off the mat. Lower your hands, your fingertips down so you can gently lower the knees down. Walk the hands back behind you. Maybe stay here or squeeze the glutes to lift them just ever so slightly off of your heels. Maybe if it's comfortable, you go a little bit deeper, but take it easy for now. Just make sure those glutes stay nice and active. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, sit back, walk the hands forward again, lift the knees, lift the hips back to your forward fold, bend the knees and roll up all the way to stand. Bring yourself up to the front of the mat. Give me a little squeeze of the glutes just to make sure they're switched on. Take an inhale, reach the arms up, look up, lift up nice and tall. Maybe rise up onto your fingertips. Onto your toes, and as you exhale, fold down Uttanasana. Knees can be bent. Inhale, rise up halfway, lengthen through the spine. Fill your body with that prana on that inhale. As you exhale, lower your hips down to your heels. Heels come up. Maybe do this without your hands this time, or keep the hands down. To lower the knees down, walk the hands back behind you. Squeeze the glutes to gently lift the hips, open the chest up. Inhale, as you exhale, lower everything back down, walk the hands forward, lift the knees up, and step back to a plank position here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower your body all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift up to a baby cobra. Look over your right shoulder and pull your right heel towards you. Exhale back to center. Inhale, look over your left shoulder, bend your left knee to bring your left heel towards you. Good. Take it back to center. Tuck the toes under. Press up through a push-up and take it to downward facing dog. Bring the feet together at the back of the mat. Keep the knees bent as much as you need to. Lift the right leg up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the right knee to your chest. Rock your shoulders forward. Step it to the front of the mat for a low lunge. Lower the knee down and rise up onto your fingertips or grab a couple of blocks. Stay here, leaning forward over that right foot. Lift the right knee up. Become light on that left knee so you can just ever so slightly rock your hips forward a little bit more, moving into this kind of squat position. And then just take it back. Just two more like that. Kind of working into the ankles here. So play around with how far you can go in this, taking it nice and easy. Okay, I know I said two more of those and I've done like 5 more, so we'll take it back now. Lower the left knee down, walk the hands back as you lift the right toes up towards the ceiling. By all means, take it back as far as you need to. Keep that right knee bent. Find, like Visvamitra did, find a way to make this work for you. Circle out through that right ankle, perhaps. All right. Bend into the right knee, walk your hands forward, go straight all the way back into that strange squat. Left knee lifts up, and then take it back all the way to lift your right toes up. Take it forward one more time, and take it back. Maybe even play with doing this hands free. All right, we're gonna move forward and just spin around to the left, staying in this squat till the left toes can come up, and this time we'll circle out the left ankle. If you want to, lower the left hand down towards that left ankle, reach the right arm up, and circle the right wrist at the same time. Good. Twisted crescent lunge. We're going to spin all the way back around to the center. Let the feet come with you and rise all the way up to a crescent lunge with the knees up, and extend your left arm forward and the right arm back. Breathe here. Maybe adjust your hips. Just check if that left hip is dropping, if you can pull that left hip a little bit higher. Maybe tuck the tailbone under a little bit more. Maybe that back knee needs to bend. So we keep length through the spine and breathe. One more big inhale here, and as you exhale, lower the left hand down, lower the left knee down, and be light on the left toes. So as you take the right leg up and back behind you, all the way to the back of the mat, the knee can spin around as it needs to. Extend the right arm forward to the front of the room. Find length through the right side of the body. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, lower the right hand down, tuck the right toes under, lift the left leg up into your three-legged down dog. Adjust if you need to. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, bend the left knee, bring it to the chest, rock the shoulders forward, and lower the left foot down. Lower the right knee down, but ever so lightly. Come up onto the fingertips. Use your blocks if you need to. Lift the left heel and just start rocking forward. So really light on that right knee. You can lower it down in between if you need to. But just moving forward and backward here, using our ankles, just really getting into the ankles. If this is too much as well, you can just hold a lunge. All right, when we take it back, lower the right knee down, walk your hands back to follow you as you straighten or bring the left knee towards straight, lift the left toes up towards the ceiling and hold it here. Wherever feels comfortable for you as you circle out that left ankle a few times. Good, let's rock it back and forth a few times now. So let the hands follow you as the left knee bends, the right knee straightens, and then take it back. Take it forward. Think about the ankles, but also your glutes and everything in between, just getting all nice and juicy. And maybe if it works for you, you even do this kind of hands-free. All right. When you get back to that left knee being bent, just spin all the way around to the right until your right toes lift up. So if you need to have your hands down here, that's totally cool. Just circle out that right ankle. Or if it feels comfortable, maybe extend the right arm over towards the foot and extend the left arm out, getting a little side stretch along with these ankle and wrist rolls. Good. All the way around to your twisted crescent lunge. So all the way back to the front. Lift both knees up, reach the arms up, and exhale to bring the left arm back and the right arm forward. Really squeeze that right glute. Make sure it's not dipping. You're not twisting through the hips. Try and bring the twist just through the thoracic spine. Breathe here. Ground down through your feet. One more inhale, and as you exhale, lower the right hand down, lower the right knee down. Light on the right toes. Remember, we can swivel on that right knee a little bit if we need to as we bring the left leg all the way back behind us. Plant that left foot flat, reach the left arm forward, and stretch and breathe through the left side of the body. Imagine you're like blowing up a balloon inside, just at the bottom of the left side of your ribs. Good. Next, exhale, look down at your mat, lower the left hand down, and take the right leg up and back, then lower that foot down next to the left in your downward facing dog. Take the feet nice and wide. Just for a moment here, lift up through the inner arches of the feet, so really press down through the outsides of the feet here, and gently press the hips from one side to the other. Just getting a nice stretch through the outsides of the thighs, outsides of the shins, perhaps. Good, then lift the heels up, bend the knees, and start crawling your hands back as you lower the hips down onto the heels. Really squeeze your glutes and press your knees back behind you as much as possible. And you can stay here with your hands down, or if it's comfortable, maybe rise up to bring all of your weight over your toes and even lift your hips up off of your heels and lower down. Let's do 2 more if you're with me. Lift them up and lower, up and down. Good. Bring the hands back down. Bring yourself back to your downward facing dog. When you get there, take an inhale, bend the knees, look forward, and bring yourself up to the front of the mat, however works for you. Take an inhale when you get there, lengthen long through the spine, lengthening halfway, and exhale, fold into your forward fold. Bend the knees and roll up, 1 vertebra at a time to stand. Lift up tall, reach the fingers to the ceiling. Exhale, bend the knees to fold back down into your forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, lift the heels, bend the knees, lower the knees down in front of you, walk the hands back, or maybe you're even doing this hands-free. Squeeze the glutes, just gently lifting the hips up off the mat. Maybe open up through the chest and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Perhaps even look back. If it's comfortable, you can move a little bit deeper into a back bend, a camel pose, but feel free to just keep your hips low. And when you're ready, on your next exhale, bring it back to lift the knees up and step it back to your plank position. Take an inhale. Repeat what we did last time, or if you want to take it up a notch, we'll do a chaturanga and then lift up to an upward facing dog on the tops of the toes. Take an inhale and look over your right shoulder, spin onto the outside of the left ankle, bring the right knee to the chest, to the shoulder. Take it back. Inhale back to center. Exhale, spin over to the left onto the outside of the right foot, bring the left knee to the shoulder. Take it back to center, tuck the toes under, lift everything up and back to downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Press the shoulders up to the ears, lift the tailbone high. Take an inhale and lift the right leg up. As you exhale, rock the shoulders forward, step the right foot between the hands or thereabouts. Lower the knee down, repeat what we did last time, or try it hands-free if you didn't, where we're gonna move back to a half Hanumanasana, bringing the right knee straight and back forward, right over that right ankle, lifting the heel up and extending the left leg long behind us. Take it back, maybe even play around. We're gonna do 3 more like this. So maybe even play around with keeping the knee up, the left knee up the whole time. If that's not too much for you, but this is a very challenging movement, so feel free to keep that left knee down. Good. Last one, as you move forward into that right knee, spin around to your Skandasana. Take the left hand over, left toes pointing up towards the ceiling, right arm reaching over towards the left, and breathe into the right side of the body. Maybe add any wrist or ankle circles or shoulder circles, or just whatever kind of self-love you need. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, spin all the way around into your twisted crescent lunge. Inhale here. As you exhale, lower the left hand down, and we can repeat what we did last time with the left knee down, or feel free to try it with the left knee up, spinning onto the outside of the left foot, maybe grabbing hold of the right ankle to help lift that right leg up and plunk it down over that left ankle in your side plank. Inhale, as you exhale, lower the right hand down in your plank. You can go through a vinyasa if you want to, or just shift it all back to your downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up, take an inhale. As you exhale, bend the left knee, rock the shoulders forward, lower the left foot down, right knee comes down. Repeat as you did it the other side with the hands down, or maybe try it with the hands lifted, bending and straightening that left knee. Try and get the left toes to come all the way up towards the ceiling as you shift back though. And make sure and lift up through that left heel when you shift forward. So, no problem if you want to do this with your hands down or with your hands up, or if you are feeling particularly energetic today and you want to keep that right knee up off the mat the whole time. That is pretty tough though. I won't blame you if you don't want to do that one. We're going to spin it around to our Skandasana. That left heel can be up or down, doesn't matter. I want you to focus on lifting the right toes up towards the ceiling and reaching the left arm over to the back. Maybe add some circles here. Through the wrist, through the ankle. And just whatever way works for you. All right, take an inhale. Next moves are revolved crescent lunge, so spin everything back around towards the front and keep going into your twisted crescent lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower the hand down. Option to lower the right knee down or keep it lifted and come onto the outside of the right foot. Grab that left big toe to help bring that left leg up and back and lower it down into your side plank. Inhale here, really press out through that right shoulder. Exhale, lower down and twist around into a plank position. Push it all straight and back into your downward facing dog. Bring the feet wide to the outside of the mat. Find stillness here for a couple of breaths. And then lift the heels, bend the knees, walk the feet back over to lower your heels, to lower your hips over your heels. Stay on your hands or rise up like a little Russian dancer. See if you can lift your hips just ever so slightly off of your heels, squeezing your glutes to pull your knees back. And then lower everything down, lift it up. Holding it a bit longer this time. And lower it down, good, lift it up. Alrighty, lower it down, walk the hands forward, come back into your downward facing dog with the feet hip width distance. Bend the knees, take an inhale, look forward and bring your feet up to the front of the mat in whatever way you like. Inhale, lengthen long. Exhale, fold back down. Roll your spine up to stand, keeping the glutes a little bit active to do that. Reach the arms up towards the sky, look up. And exhale, bring yourself back to a Tadasana, a Samastitihi. So take a moment here just to assess how you feel in your body at this moment. Coming back to your breath. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Step your right foot just one step forward to the front of the mat. Lift the left knee up towards your chest. Arms can stay down, reach them up overhead, have them on your hips. Doesn't matter. I want you to just think about keeping the right knee straight and pulling that left knee high towards you. Lifting the crown of the head high towards the ceiling as well. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the left knee out wide. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. As if you're going into a tree pose, but not quite. Then lift the left ankle up. So internally rotating through that left hip. Then extend the hip, so bring the knee back behind you. Abduct your hip. A little anatomy lesson, a little biomechanics lesson here. To bring the left knee behind the right. Bend the right knee. Keep lowering everything down. Tuck the left toes under so you can lower that left knee down just off to the side of your mat. Bring the hips facing a little bit forward. Clasp the hands behind your head. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bring the chin to the chest. Round forward. Really tuck the tailbone under. Squeeze the glutes. And then lean over to the right. Open your elbows, open wide, and rise back up. This will be familiar from one of the daily flows. So keep moving through this. Rise up through center. We'll do one more. Bring the elbows together, round. Then take it over to the right side. Open the elbows up. All right, this time spin around to the left, lifting that left knee and spinning that left knee over, around, so we come into a goddess pose. Just stay here for a breath. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Really press those knees back behind you. Then lift the left heel up. Can you lower that left knee down? Just place it back onto your mat. Tough move, I know. But you're strong, you got it. Turn the right toes towards the front of the mat and bend into that right knee. Your hips are facing the long side of the mat. Again, clasp your hands behind your back, your head. Take an inhale and exhale. Round through the spine. And then lean it over to the right. Open the elbows up. Rise back up through center. 2 more like that. Round through the spine. Lean over to the right as the elbows open. Rise back up. Last time. Breathing as you go. Woo. Good job. Unclasp your hands. Look forward towards that right foot. We're just going to lean over and lift ourselves all the way up into that right foot and just back to where we started with the left knee. Towards the chest, reach the arms up this time. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, extend the left leg all the way to the back of the mat. Reach the arms up. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, gently lower that left knee down to the mat. Lower both hands to the inside of the right foot and spin that left shin parallel to the back of the mat. Open the hips and the shoulders up to the long side of the mat to the side. Reach the left arm up. Press the right shoulder and the right knee towards each other as much as possible. And try and keep that contact between the shoulder and the knee as you gently shift your hips back over that left knee, bringing the right toes up off the mat, maybe going towards straight with that right knee, but probably not too much, and reach the left arm over towards the right toes. Bend into the right knee, bring it back forward, reach the left arm up. Take it back. Left arm goes forward as the hips go back. One more time. Reach it up and reach it forward. Good. Take it back up. Real quick here. Can you now, with the left toes tucked under, lift that left knee up and just spin that left foot flat. The left knee comes up. We're in a little sideways goddess position. Good job. Spin all the way back around and then lower the left hand down next to the right. Reach the right arm up. And just like we did before, you can keep that knee down. Or if you're happy with your side plank and the knee up, lift the left knee up. Come on to the outside of the left foot. Maybe grab the right toe to help you lift everything up into your side plank. And here you can either stay here, or if you want to have a little fun, we're going to just step that right foot forward, just off the mat. Then step the left foot forward. A little inner thigh work here, and outer thigh work, depending on which leg you're on. And when you're perpendicular with the long side of the mat, just spin all the way around, lowering the right hand down and over into a right side plank. Step the left foot forward, and this time, can you maybe even touch your right toes to your left hand? Then lower the outside of the right foot down, lift the left leg up, touch the toes to the hand. Then one more time, lift the right leg up, grab hold of the toes. Maybe you're just holding the ankle or the knee, whatever it is. Can you just help guide that right leg all the way to the front of the mat and gently lower your hips down? And just, shimmy yourself into a nice, comfortable, wide-legged position. And just relax here for a bit. And don't worry those last few moves if you didn't get them, because we get to do them all again. Just wiggle around, shake around here, whatever feels good. Maybe add some ankle circles. Maybe you just want to relax. And as you take this little breather, just an invitation to remember the inspiration for this class, that funny old sage, Visvamitra. I don't like your universe, I'll just make my own universe. Just do it your way. All right, we're gonna walk our hands back if you're kind of leaning into that. Pick up the right leg and just bend the knee in. Lower your right hand down so you can spin that left leg all the way to the right knee. And it doesn't matter if the ankle is by the shin or hooked over the knee. We're just gonna take a nice little twist here. A little Lord of the Fishes pose. And breathe here. And there's many ways to do this kind of twist. I'm not particularly a fan of trying to go super deep into it, using my elbow to shimmy my way deeper. That's just me, that's how I like to do it. Please don't take that to mean that you're doing it wrong if that's what you've been doing. But wherever you are, try and breathe, and maybe even breathe into a new space here in this twist. And by that I mean finding new places in your lungs that you can fill up. Because of course, we don't normally breathe when we're in a twist. And using these opportunities to find alternative ways of breathing, alternative spaces to breathe into can really help us to think of new ways to go about our life, just like Visvamitra. All right, come back through center. And use your hands as much as you need to. We're just gonna rise all the way up onto that left foot and bring the right knee up to the chest. All right, just like we did before, just find stability here. Find the alignment that we're looking for to really get that left glute active. So making sure that the left knee stays straight, the body isn't hunching forward or leaning back, crown of the head reaching tall, and at the same time as doing all of that, really pulling that right knee up towards the chest. Arms can be wherever they want. Then take the knee out to the side, nice and slow, really feeling these little articulations of the hip. Like we're going in towards a tree pose, but not quite. Can you just hold that? And then try and keep the thigh where it is and just internally rotate to bring the ankle up. Try not to make it come out of the hips too much, the pelvis that is. Then extend, just to bring the leg back behind you. Abduct, to bring the right knee behind the left. Start bending in the left knee. Tuck the toes of the right foot under so you can gently lower that right knee down just off to the side of your yoga mat. Then, if it's comfortable, bring the top of the right foot down, clasp your hands behind your back, take an inhale, and as you exhale, tuck the tailbone under and round through the spine. Open everything up as you lean to the left this time and rise back up. 2 more like that. Inhale. At the top, exhale as you round. And take it over to the left. Open the elbows up. Inhale to rise back up to center 1 more time. Round. And open it all up. Back through center, tuck the right toes under, lift the right knee up, and spin it all the way around to your goddess pose. Whew. Sink the hips a little bit lower, press the knees out a little bit wider. Lift the right heel up, then lower that right knee down just onto the mat. Spin the left foot to face the front. Hands on the hips if it helps. Bend into the left knee. Hips and shoulders all facing the long side of the mat. Clasp your hands behind your head. Squeeze those glutes. Take an inhale. Exhale around. This time, again, we're leaning to the left. Open the elbows up. Inhale to rise back up. Exhale, round. Take it over to the left. Elbows open. Rise back up. Last time. Here we're flossing the obturator nerve. It's going to help us with our splits. All right, spin and look over to the front of the mat. Tuck the right toes under. Do what you need to do to stand back up on that left foot. My left foot is just so unbalanced. All right, then extend the right foot to the back of the mat. Reach the arms up nice and tall. As you exhale, gently lower that left knee down. And lower the hands down to the inside of the left foot and spin the right shin parallel to the back of the mat as you open up your body and reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, start to straighten your right arm, your right leg, as you reach the right arm towards the left toes and press the hips to the back of the mat. Inhale, open up, hips go forward. Exhale, hips go back, right arm goes to the front. Inhale, open up. Exhale, reach it forward. Good. Take it back to the front one more time. Tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee up, and spin it round. In a little goddess pose, over to the side. If you didn't get that, don't worry. You don't need to. Just spin it back around. And lower the right hand down. Reach the left arm up into a twist. Just as before, you can keep the right knee down or lift the knee up and come into the outside of the right foot. Use your left hand if you need to help lift that left leg up and back into your side plank. Now you are more than welcome to stay here, take a break, really push out through that right shoulder though, and we're gonna walk. Still pushing out through the right shoulder. This I called walk like Visvamitra until you're parallel to the short side of your mat. Lower the left palm down, maybe fingers pointing forwards towards the front of the mat. And this time as we walk, we're gonna grab hold. So step the right foot forward, we're gonna grab hold of the left foot. See if you can just grab hold of it, then lower it down. Step into the left foot, can you grab hold of the right foot? And then step it down. Last time, grab hold of the left foot, maybe the knee, whatever is working for you, to guide that left leg to the front of the mat and lower the hips down. Good job. Center yourself onto the mat. Just take a little break here. Just shake it out. Shake out the shoulders if you need to. Shake out your head. Whatever needs shaking. But take a little breather here in whatever variation of a wide-legged stretch works for you. And I know some of you will be all the way in your pancake, and some of you will be propped up on blocks with your knees still bent, and that's beautiful, you know. And I know that in these movement practices, such as yoga asana, where flexibility seems to be praised, it seems to, on the surface, be what the practice is about and why we do it and what we are trying to achieve. And for sure, as I'm sure you all know, flexibility is something that is practiced as part of the yoga asana practice. And it comes with time, but please don't forget that is not what it's about at all. All right, we're gonna rise up out of that. Bend the left knee to bring the heel towards your hips. Pick up that right leg and bring the right foot in front of the left knee or at the shin, whatever feels right for you, and take a twist of your choice. So you can hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. I prefer just to hug it. Or if I'm feeling like I've got a lot of excess energy that I need to use up, then I might press the left elbow to the inside of the right knee and then right knee into the inside of the left elbow. I might have you guys do that in some of the things that we do, but here I think it's nice just to relax and rest and focus on that breathing. When you're ready, on your next exhale, spin back around. Use your hands to do this in whatever way works for you, to stand up and bring the left knee back up to your chest. We're going to go through all of that again, just quicker. So straight into that funky lunge. Lower the left foot all the way back behind you over to the right in this little lunge, and then we're going to spin straight around into our goddess pose. Then lower that left knee down to the mat. Spin the right foot forward, and lower the right hand down. Reach the left arm over. Shimmy yourself onto your mat if you need to. And just as before, feel free to just rock in the way that we have done before, reaching the left arm towards the right toes as you push the hips back. Or take the right hand and bring it behind the right heel and over to the outside of the right foot. And as you push the hips back, maybe grab a hold of that right foot. And if it's comfortable, then lift the foot up off of the mat. And this is a version of Visvamitrasana that is quite nice to do if you've never done it before. If you want to extend that right leg straight though, kind of taking it up to the next step, I encourage you to really get low. As much as possible, get the knee to the top of the shoulder so that you can then start to straighten that leg out. It's just an option though. All right, we're gonna play around with that again later. So for now, lower everything down. Bring the right hand back to the front, the inside of the right foot. Tuck the left toes under. Spin everything round into your goddess pose. Lower the left hand down next to the right and spin that left foot to lift the heel up and reach the right arm up in your twisted runner's lunge. Side plank of your choice, so left knee down or outside of the left foot. Take that right leg up and around to your side plank, and then we'll walk like Visvamitra all the way to lower the right hand down and reach the left arm up. And then if you like, play around with grabbing hold. Maybe this time you can go a little bit further into picking those legs up and bringing them up towards the front of the mat. Nice and slowly, nice and gingerly. Then, same as before with that right leg forward, lower the hips down, shimmy your way back onto your mat if you've kind of ended up off of it. And you can rest here like we have been doing, or if you want, bring yourself into a little bit of a deeper forward, a deeper wide-legged stretch where you're starting to feel a little bit of a stretch. Spin around so your hands frame your right thigh and spin like we've done, the left heel up towards the ceiling. Then press into your hands and lift your hips up. And see if you can just gingerly kind of make your way towards a little Hanumanasana. All right, and then of course there's a story there of the monkey god, Hanuman. He's up there. I don't think we've got sage Visvamitra up there. But anyway, we'll spin around now to the left and try that on the left side. So spin the right foot to lift the right heel, and then just play around using your hands down. And I think that this can be a nice way to kind of move into that monkey pose, as kind of from the side. And not pushing it, not trying to go anywhere, just kind of playing around. All right? And then lower the hips back down, spin back around, bend the right knee to bring the heel to the hips, and spin around for your Lord of the Fishes pose. Just take 1 or 2 breaths here in this twist. On your next exhale, spin forward, use your hands, or maybe even challenge yourself not to use your hands to stand all the way up on that left foot. Bring the right knee to the chest, spin it around. We're moving quickly this time. Out to the outside of the mat, lower the knee down, and then just straight back up, spinning around into that goddess pose. Lower the hips down, and then straight into our little baby warrior 2, as I like to call it. Lower the left hand down, reach the right arm up, and just like before, kind of maybe just get into it a little bit here. Kind of get everything nice and juicy. And you can, of course, if you got it in your practice already, or if you know that you want to try it, you can spin the back leg to come up as well. But I like to keep the knee down, especially when I'm still getting warmed up into it. If you want to try, you can take the shoulder underneath the knee, bring the hand to the outside of the left foot. And even as you might find as you straighten that left arm, it means that left foot kind of peels up off the mat. So grab a hold of it. Pull it towards the front, and maybe start to straighten it out. And you can see this is kind of where I get to the end of my comfort zone, and I'm like, you know what, that's going to work for me. I'm good here. All right, so we'll play around again with that later, don't worry. For now, just bring that left hand back to the inside of the left foot, tuck the right toes under, spin the leg around to your goddess pose. Take the right hand down next to the left and spin the right heel up. And take the left leg all the way back to your plank. Oh my goodness, I'm getting confused and I'm confusing all of you. And we'll walk. We'll walk our plank. Maybe this is feeling a little bit easier for you. We're gonna spin around. And just like before, the option is just, now that we're a little bit more comfortable with it, maybe try taking that leg, each leg, both of them, as we go, just a little bit deeper into a stretch. And this, of course, feel free, I'm gonna adjust my left hand so that as I move into that final one, this is also kind of a Visvamitrasana variation. So from that side plank, grab whatever part of your leg you can, extend it to the front, but we'll just lower the hips down. All right, so just like before, take a breather here. Maybe you want to play around with that variation that we just did, or if you want, we'll move into our splits from here. So frame the left foot this time, move. And if that feels funky on your hip, then please, please, please take it easy. It may take some time just to kind of get that juicy, kind of get that joint nice and juicy and used to this spinning around in the socket like this, okay? It'll come though, because it is meant to do that, okay? This is not a natural movement, okay? So just playing around with that. Let's try it on both sides. All right. And bend the left knee now to bring the heel to the hips and take that right foot to wherever it feels right for you in your Lord of Fishes twist. Twist around to the back of the mat and breathe here. On your next exhale, spin back to the front. Option, of course, it's just an option to stand up on that right foot without using your hands. Pull the left knee into your chest, lower it back down, and bring yourself into your Tadasana. And again, just take a couple of breaths here, maybe with your eyes closed, just to feel how your body is responding to this movement, but not just your body, how your mind and what your emotions are. Do you feel gratitude for your body? Are you enjoying yourself? Do you feel bored? Or can you not wait for it to be over? Whatever it is, just use it as information. That's all our emotions are. They are information. And when you're ready, open your eyes back up if they're closed. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Look up. Stretch nice and tall. Uttanasana. Fold at the hips. Lower your hands down to the mat. Option to add that little camel pose that we've been doing. So lower the hips down to the mat. You can also just take a ragdoll here if you want to chill. Lift the hips up, squeezing the glutes. Make sure it comes from the glutes and not from the lower back, and then just rise back up. Plant your hands, step back to your plank position. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower your body all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lift up the chest, the shoulders, the head. Look over your left shoulder, bend your left knee. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder and bend your right knee. Back to center, tuck the toes, press everything up and back. Downward facing dog. Step the feet together, take an inhale, and reach the right leg up. As you exhale, bring the right knee to the outside of the right shoulder. Shift the shoulders forward over the wrists and lower the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Maybe shimmy everything towards the center of your mat a little bit if you need to, and spin to bring the left foot flat. Can you just shimmy that right shoulder underneath the right knee a little bit and take the right hand to the outside of the right foot? Maybe you just want to stay here with the left arm reaching up. Option, of course, is to lower the left knee down, keeping the hips open. Or if you want to go for the full Visvamitrasana, take that left arm, lift the right heel, grab hold of the right foot, and step one, just pick the right foot up. Then begin to extend it towards the front of the mat. If that feels all right for you, please don't do anything to your hamstring that doesn't work. We're just gonna come out of it the same way we came. So bending it, then lowering the foot back down, releasing the foot, lowering the left hand down, spinning the left foot flat, and releasing the right hand from being all twisted around back there. And then take that right leg up and back behind you. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, once again, right knee to right shoulder. Option, lower the knee down, bend the elbows. Option also is to keep the knee up. Another option is to shift your shoulders a little bit more forward so your fingertips start to really take some of the weight, and maybe even play around with lifting the foot off the mat and maybe that knee as well, and then straightening. Good. Take it all back the way we came, back to our downward facing dog. Step the feet together. Let's try all that on the other side. Lift the left leg up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, bend the knee and bring it to the outside of the left shoulder. Rock the shoulders forward. Step the left foot to the outside of the right hand. Let's shimmy everything in. Spin onto the outside of the right foot. And just sink your left shoulder down, really getting into the crook of the knee as much as you can. Take the hand to the outside of the left foot. Right hand, of course, that right knee can be down. Right hand reaches to the left foot. Pick up the heel and pick that foot up off the mat. If the leg slides down the shoulder, then it's going to be really hard for you to extend that leg. So really think about squeezing the inner thighs to keep that leg high on the shoulder. Maybe you can begin to extend it. Keep pressing out through that left shoulder though. We're just gonna come all the way back the way we came. Lower the foot down, bring the right hand down, shimmy the left arm back to the outside of the left foot so you can bring it all the way back and up into your downward facing dog. Maybe you just wanna shake it out here. Take an inhale. As you exhale, once again, left knee, left shoulder. Option, lower that right knee down. This is going to really, really help if you're new to this, if you're still working on this arm balance. Bend your elbows back towards you. Don't let them splay out wide. Then maybe with the toes tucked under, you can lift that knee up and play around with just rocking your weight a little bit more over the fingertips. Maybe the knee is still down, but you lift the foot up. And you can play around with going for that arm balance. If you're finding that that back leg is just super heavy, it means that your weight is not as far forward into your fingers as you need to be to counterbalance that leg. All right, let's take it all up and back. And lower everything down into your downward facing dog. Then lower the knees down and spin back around into your wide-legged forward, your wide-legged position that we started in. And I want you to just take a moment here just to assess, just to notice how you feel, any changes that have occurred. Maybe even close your eyes so you can pay attention to also any mental changes or emotional changes. And when you're ready, just bring your legs together, facing one side of the mat or another, it doesn't matter. So you can roll down onto your back, hug your knees into your chest, maybe just rock side to side a few times. And take a twist of your choice. If you're with me, I personally am quite addicted to the cactus arms. And bringing my knees about 90 degrees and then taking them over to the left. So it's a nice gentle twist. With the knees to the left, you can look over to the right just to bring the twist throughout the spine. Good, come back through center. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lower the knees to the right and look over to the left. Good, back through center. And maybe just hug your knees into your chest again. Maybe you want to take a shoulder stand, a bridge pose, whatever you feel your body needs. I will meet you in Shavasana, thou, with the feet outstretched, long, away from us, the arms down by the sides with the palms facing up. And just take a moment to lengthen through the neck. So think about the base of the skull, just lengthening a little bit away from the shoulders, and the shoulders relaxing down. And as you lie here, knowing that you're about to go into the rest of your day, perhaps even bring to mind something that is going on in your life right now, where maybe you could take a page out of Sage Visvamitra's book and bring a little bit of open-mindedness, creativity, tenacity to getting the job done, maybe in a way that isn't obvious. Knowing that even if it fails, like it did so many times for Mr. Visvamitra, that does not equal total failure, because there's always something to learn. And perhaps it'll even become a story that's told by generations to come. On your next inhale, reach your arms overhead and stretch long. Roll out again through the fingers and toes and wrists and ankles, this time for a different purpose, this time just to wake our bodies up. After a very short savasana, I know, but you are welcome to stay there. But if you're ready, just roll over onto one side, or however you like to bring yourself up to a seated position. Bring your palms to heart center. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, bow your head, your chin to your chest. And thank yourself for your practice. And thank all of those before us who taught us this practice. And all of those who we can bring the joys and benefits of this practice to into the future. Thank you.